it is full of protection. The first verse is all about bhakti. It is full of protection. Protection from that Bhagavan which is in the form of all the orders which are present in this universe. Everything in this universe is Bhagavan. Your physiological order is Ishvara. Psychological order is Ishvara. The astronomical order is Ishvara. All orders are Ishvara. Therefore, here all that is needed to know is how to communicate with that Ishvara, with the power of grace, the power center of grace. Grace is available everywhere. How to tap it? Or how to communicate? But without knowing how to communicate, we spend our energy, we do all kinds of things in this world which are unnecessary, which is useless to us. And therefore, the first thing that is required is to communicate with that grace. You need to allow the mind to go back to its source. See, the mind has got a natural phenomenon. The word natural, when I say, most of you may think, Swamiji, is it not natural? You know what is natural? Nature driven is natural. But what is Atma? Is it natural? When we talk about Atma, even though we use the word your nature is Atma, it's not a right word. Atma is your Swarupam. Swasya Rupam. Therefore, mind is driven by nature. It has got three gunas in it, it is driven by that. But that mind's Swarupam is Atma, is Chaitanya. You see, mind is in the form of a thought. And thought by itself is Jadam, correct? Thought by itself cannot do anything. So, that because of which the thought is a thought. Because of which the thought is Chaitanya. The source of that thought is Chaitanya. Any thought for that. By itself it cannot do anything. And therefore it requires, there is a dependency, it depends upon Chaitanya. Therefore, what is the power center because of which the entire thought functions? In Bhakti Marga, we call it Bhagavan, God. In spirituality, we say it is Ishvara. It is Atma Brahman. Word Ishvara has no other meaning than Atma Brahman. So you need to know how to communicate with this. Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hriddesher Junattishtati. Bhagavan alone dwells in the heart of all the beings. In the Gita, Bhagavan is saying this verse. The 18th chapter of the Gita. And therefore, how to communicate? So, tat prasadat param shantim sthanam prapsyasi. You have to allow the mind to resolve or come back to its source, to its swarupam, to its intrinsic swarupam, which is Atma Brahman. That is called bhakti. And once you have this communication, then alone you are in the safe hands. Like how Arjuna was in the safe hands of Krishna. So too you are in the safe hands. In the safe hands in this journey of spirituality. And therefore, you need to learn to tread that path. Trace back that thought back to yourself. To the first thought. From where that I thought stems. What is that I thought that we are talking about? Any thought, for example, you take into account, there is a krama. Even though Bhagavan says he comes from minus infinity to plus infinity. Between minus infinity to plus infinity, there are so many things. So many stages which you have got across. So one side of the mind is being completely extrovert. The mind goes outside, envelops an object, takes the form of the object, recognizes the object, to carry the object in the mind. That is your thought. I say, suppose I give you rose. Now your mind is what? It understands rose, correct? How did you understand this rose? You hear the sound rose, there is no rose in front of you. You are not seeing a rose in my hand. Correct? But I use the word rose. This shabda gets into you through your indriyas. But the mind, how does it receive it? How does it acknowledge? How does it grasp the word and understands the word? That understanding is in the form of a modification, correct? What is that modification? The whole thought becomes the form of rose. Now your mind is rosy mind. Now ask the question, where did this rose thought come from? In dhyana you got to do this. Not while driving the car. You will end up in an accident. Therefore in dhyanam, you have to sit and ask this question, where did this first thought, where did this rose thought come from? If you trace back, you finally end up in the first thought. Aham. In fact, that is the karana. For all the thoughts to stem, that alone becomes the karana. Taittiriya Upanishad also says the same thing in a different language. Tasya priyameva shirah modo dakshinah pakshah pramoda uttarah pakshah. After that what? Ananda atma brahma pucham pratishta. Same thing. A different standpoint. And therefore you have to allow that mind to resolve to come back to this first thought, that aham vritti. Up to that is in your hands. We can come only up to that aham vritti. Now, our problem is what? We want to what? Experience Atma. You see, we use two expressions. What are these two expressions? The first expression we say, you know what is Triputi? Knower, known, the knowledge. In any experience, there is this knower is there, known is there, knowledge is also there. Am I right? These three, when there is a difference between the knower is one thing. Knower knows something other than it. Then there is known. The The moment there is no or known division, knowledge arises, correct? This is called Triputi. Seer, seen, the seen knowledge. In any experience, you have got these divisions. Triputi is there means, experience is there means it implies Triputi is there. Now, you want Atma Anubhava. In Atma Anubhava, is there Triputi? Huh?
No.
How do you say?
There's no I thought.
There is no?
I thought.
Then what is there? If there is no I thought, what is there then? Come, please come. You may be wrong. Don't worry. Don't be afraid don't be ashamed that you're going to answer me wrongly. It's okay. If you, I have answered my guru also wrongly several times. Don't worry. Yeah.
It's an existence. Exist.
Now these are all words. Existence. What is existence? Have you experienced existence?
You don't experience because that's all I.
About what is that you're talking about Atma Anubhava?
I am. That is a word.
See, there is no clarity here.
I am.
You use the word existence, immediately you have gone to Ananda.
No, we have not been in that situation, so I won't be able to tell you. We can see what it is or feel that.
The maximum that you can glide down is to this I thought. For you to recognize something, there requires the mind. For an experience. Suppose the mind drops, mind resolves. In sleep. In sleep, what happens? Mind is not there in sleep. Are you clear? That is why there is no dream. You don't project anything. When I say sleep, you know what is called? It is called as deep sleep. The word deep, mind is not there. Dreamless now. So in this sleep now, sleep avastha, it's an state of experience. In this sleep avastha, mind not being there, what do you experience?
During the sleep, we don't feel anything, but when we wake up, we feel that he had a
No. My question is very simple. Don't talk about waking now. In sleep, what do you experience?
Nothing.
That means you are experiencing shunyam. Therefore, there is a person who is experiencing nothingness. Come on. This is called vichara.
Yeah,
What you have got to do in meditation is this. Understand? Not simply ask the question, who am I? Along with that, who am I question is right. I am not being critical there. Who am I question is right. How to do that vichara? That is more important than the very question.
Well, you don't experience it personally because there is no person. So,
Don't experience it.
All that is you.
Original nature.
In sleep, what happens? You recognize the absence of everything. Correct? But that is not being claimed by me. I am not able to claim it. Even though I am experiencing the absence of everything, I am not able to claim that. Why? No, my Tappa. There is no mind. Therefore, when do I claim it?
When I wake up.
That is called pratyabhijna. Recognize, recognition. Look at the word, English word helps you. Sanskrit word pratyabhijna. English word is better in this. Recognition. Recognize and children, yeah? We recognize. Recognize, you have to put a space there after re. Recognize. What do you recognize? What was cognized in the dream, in the sleep, you are able to recollect, recognize. Now here all the verses that is told by Bhagavan. Bhagavan does not want you to recognize. That is the classical system. Bhagavan says, let us be in sleep. From the standpoint of sleep, he speaks. From the standpoint of sleep, he speaks all these verses. That is why when the traditional people talk, there will be a little bit of difference between these two because they are only standpoint differences. You understand? You can only recognize. I will give you an example which the Shastra itself gives you, so that it makes it easier. This I give to my students all the time. What is that you are attempting? I want to know, I want to experience myself. This is what you want, correct? Now I am just simply asking you to do only one small thing. Come on, experience your own eyes. Panungo. See your eyes, come on. You are all masters. Sit in meditation and do something, Puttikaranam, do Shirasasana, whatever you want to do, you do. Experience your own eyes, not my eyes. You have to experience your eyes, I have to experience my eyes. Okay? Come on. I'm sorry, I have to take a little bit because of my throat. Huh?
Cannot be done, so.
Can you do it?
We don't know.
What if you stand in front of a mirror?
Yeah, that is.
You are not experiencing your eyes, you are experiencing the reflected eye, correct? Now come. That's a good answer. Let's see. So you cannot experience your eyes, but you can stand in front of the mirror, use the mirror, mirror becomes the pramana. You can use the pramana called the mirror, look at the reflected eye, claim the original eye. This is what you do every day. You go to the mirror and apply tilaka. When you are applying tilaka, where do you apply the tilaka? You see the reflection and you don't apply the tilaka to the reflection. You apply to the original. You claim the original in front of the mirror. This is the entire whole process is only this. But here what happens? There it's an example of the mirror. Now come here to this anubhava. You are doing a pratyabhijna, recognition. So if you can drive these verses from that standpoint of recognizing, and to recognize you need Shastra Vachana. You have to confirm with Shastra what it says and what was your thing, and then you recognize things, you can tally. But here what Bhagavan says, be there in that I thought. That I am thought when it comes, that's the first I exist, I am, correct? In fact, that is the first starting point of the entire spirituality is I am. So if you want to prove anything in physics or in any mathematical equations, they will say, let us assume so and so to be X. Correct? If you want to prove something, let it be called as X. Then we go and we prove any postulate and all. You know what is the first step here? I exist. Do you have a doubt in that? Does anybody have a doubt I exist? Do you need somebody to come and tell you that you exist? Do you need Shastra to come and tell you that you exist?
No.
That is the first step. So in an equation you say, let us assume something to be X. In Vedanta, what do you say? Where is the first stage in now? I exist. That is what he says, I am. Aham vritti. That is called aham vritti. That aham vritti, you have to come to that. And having come there, it is a unique thing. Why it is unique? Because every other thought is made only out of this aham vritti. Whenever you are cognizing any other thought, Silently there is a mantra behind. What is that? You know, aham. That is there. Unsaid it is, unclaimed. It is still there. You take it for granted. In and through all the time, it is there. As the very fetus. In Ullad 40, Bhagavan uses this word. Karuva Karu. Kariya. Fetus. As the very fetus it is present. And therefore, you should know how to communicate with that, how to get into that. That is where you got to spend your time. And therefore, when you come there, what happens? To that first thought when you come, that it becomes the very seed of that mind. When you meditate upon that, it is very, very easy. When you come very close to that first thought and ask that aham vritti, where did that aham come from? Aham does not arise from anything. You will understand that that aham is me. It is not a vritti. It is not a vritti. Then what is that aham? Suppose there is an emotion. I know the emotion, correct? That emotion is triggered by something which is outside. Someone triggers this emotion. My brother-in-law, mother-in-law, yaro, they trigger their emotion. But then, there is one more knowing. First knowing is, I know that emotion. I know that emotion. You know that you are angry, correct? You know that you have a desire. I know the desire. That second I know is Atma. Do you understand? The first I know is what? The one that because of external thing. The second one is Atma. There is a mantra in the Rigveda also. Kamastadagre samavartatadi manaso retah pratamam yadasit. The Rigveda says it. Pratamam, the first one is what? First thought. Kama. And before that kama comes into the whole being, what comes in na? Tadagre. In the beginning, what was there in na? Asit. I am. Everything stems from that I am. I exist. I am means I exist. Therefore, that is the first one. The I that I thought, which was there in the beginning, is still there in you as the very I. But it got diluted, distracted into several things. Like how a light, when it passes through the prism, it gets sevenfold. As many thoughts also, what happened? When this I thought, then you don't pay attention to it. So many things it has become. And Bhagavan's job was only to turn your attention towards that I thought. That's all. That's why he brushes aside all the questions. If you read all the questions, he doesn't answer any question elaborately. No jnani will answer a question. Everything is anirvachaniya. You ask what is moksha? I can talk from a standpoint that there is moksha. I can talk from another standpoint that there is no moksha. From one standpoint it exists, from another standpoint it does not exist. What can you give an answer? Like pot. Is there an object called pot? Huh?
It's
Touch of pot is touch of clay. Weight of pot is weight of clay. You cannot think of pot without thinking of its substance clay. Anirvachaniyam. No pot, there is no pot. All that is there is only clay. And then this is one standpoint. From another standpoint, pot holds water, clay does not. Pot seems to exist. So what cannot be categorized as existence, or what cannot be categorized as non-existent, it falls under existent, non-existent category. In between it falls mithya anirvachaniya. That is called mithya. Everything in this world is mithya, including moksha. So what answer can you give? That is why he brushes aside all the questions. One line the answer. So he will only put a counter question. How to handle my anger? Who is the one who is angry? So there is a question for which you are expecting an answer. He puts a counter question. In one stroke. So the whole thing is all centered just to bring your attention back to this power center. Which we don't do in our lives. Correct? If you bring your attention to this power center, there is no worry. Worry is not there in the dictionary except in January and February. There is no other worry. And therefore, the entire spirituality is only this. Any question is a garbage. It has to be thrown into garbage. Context of question is a garbage also. Who is the question? Who is the questioner? Come on, tell me. Intellect creates its own problem and becomes miserable. And then it tries to solve that problem. Where there is no problem, we try to find a solution to that. And we want a jnani to resolve that problem. You don't have to do anything, you stay quiet, it will go by itself. Bhagavan also says this. Matra svarshashtu kaunteya sitoshna sukha agama apayina anitya. This is anitya. Therefore, what should you do now? Don't do anything. Tam sitikshasva bharata. Develop some endurance, it will go away by itself. Every situation will change. Correct? That's why he says, you don't have to do anything. Situations will be dealt by itself. But what you can do is now to turn your attention to this source. And when you turn your attention to the source, the mind pulls itself towards the core. Kabalita Gana Vishwarupa Kiranavalya. The whole universe is swallowed. In sleep you do that. The whole Jagrat Prapancha, Swapna Prapancha is pulled inward. In sleep it is natural. Natural means I told you what it is. What is natural?
Nature.
Belongs to nature. It is not you. There is a meaning. It belongs to nature, it is not you. But then what is that you need to do? You should become your true Swarupa. Claim your true Swarupa. The mind has to claim its Swarupa. If you ask who claims, I will say the mind. That means you just have to shift your identity. Now look at the verse. So now I think you have got this verse with you. You can see the verse now. The first verse is about bhakti. So Bhagavan here, what does he do here? He says, and this is a technique used by all the spiritual seekers. You need an outer manifestation to push your mind inward. So what is the first one? Vishwarupa, the word is there. Vishwarupa means you need this Vishwa to make the mind go inward. Because mind is all the time extrovert. Paranchikani vyatrinati swayambhuhu. Swayambhuhu means naturally. How is it designed in all your indriyas? Paranchikani, extrovert. It will go out. That is how it is. It is designed in that manner. Where there is a shabda, sense organ of hearing. Sparsha, shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasagandha, this is the world, there is no other world. So Shastra deals only with 5 things. It divides the entire world into shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa and gandha. Everything is only with this 5. So this extrovert mind, it needs something to go inward. It has to be pushed. And what is that? Vishwarupa. That's what he's saying. So, what is his mind? Mind is in the form of thought. Merely thoughts alone, they are. So, from the heart where the mind is located, first the I thought comes out. Like from the sleep, what happens? The mind blooms. When half sleep, you dream. When you fully open, it is called Jagrat Prapancha. So therefore, it blooms fully. And when it starts opening, when it blooms, the first, from where? From the I thought. That is the Karu, which Bhagavan says, Karuna, the fetus. The first vritti which comes is Ahankara. First what comes? Ahankara. Then the second one, you know what comes? Mamakara. This is mine. Ahankara is first, Mamakara is the second. And when you sleep, all these vikalpas go back into sleep. All the vikalpas go back. When all the vikalpas go back, where do they go back? Where do they go back? They have to go back somewhere, correct? Where do they go back?
Where it came from? To the mind.
Where did it come from?
Mind.
I thought.
Mind only. Don't say mind. It did not come from the mind. Even all the vikalpas have come from mind itself is a vikalpa, understand? Mind itself is in the form of a thought. All thoughts are called as vikalpas. And therefore when thoughts resolve, where do they resolve?
We go to the source.
Huh?
We go to the source.
What is the source? What do you call that?
Atma.
Atma. You give a name. You want to give any name, you give. Atma. Brahman. Self. God. Whatever you want to give, we have no problem with that. Therefore it goes where? Into Atma. Ananda Atma. It resolves there. And again you see what in the morning? Everything comes. From where did it come? Again,
Same place.
from where it went? Last night it has to come only from there. It comes from me.
So it's from Atma, then I. I am, then.
And therefore, you need this. That Brahman or Atma is the locus, the adhisthana. They use the word adhisthana. Understand the word here, adhisthana, as the place where it comes from, the place where it goes back into. The next two verses is going to say that. Everything comes back. And while coming, it is easy. You know why? It's like the magnet is there, and you keep all the iron filings there around it. What will happen? Chattanu poi ottikum. It's easy because that is your swarupam, not your swabhava. There are two words. That is your swarupam, not nature. Nature, natural, you say it is driven by the world, it is not you. Swarupam, you say it is you. That is why in sleep, I am so happy and I want to continue to sleep. 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes. You want to sleep. That is your anubhava, correct? What is your anubhava? Anybody who goes to sleep and had a good sleep, will they come and tell me, Swamiji, I went to sleep, but I had some sorrow. Do you say that? Ananda. So these are all what? Atma is the source into which everything resolves. Effortlessly it is attracted, it attracts everybody, it attracts you all the time, effortlessly it is. To be yourself, what effort have you got to put? தமிழ்ல சொல்லணுமா? நீ நீயாக இருப்பதற்கு செய்ய வேண்டியது என்ன?
Tomorrow, be still.
You don't have to even do that. You are already that, correct? That is what I am saying as Swarupam. Summa iru, you don't have to even do that. Just to be yourself, what should you do? Come on. Is there anything called doing there? There is no karma. Kartu adhyaya prapyate phalam karma kim param karma tat jadam. Karma cannot do you. Even doing an action is not needed. That is the indication of karma tat jadam there. It is inert. You don't have to do anything. Just to be. For you to be yourself, you don't have to do. Effortless it is, correct? Effortless. And for that effortless attraction to take place, for all of, even though you are resisting, Atma all the time attracts. What do? Now we resist. How? When you are alone, people at home alone, what do they want to watch? Reels are பார்த்தோம். To be alone is a punya. That's a punyam, in fact. I am so alone, I have got loneliness. One day I am going to say, punya, come on. Because you are going to be alone means you are going to be with yourself. There is nobody to bother you, correct? You are left alone. But there, that magnetic attraction can happen there. There, what do? You resist. I don't want. What do? Go out. You go out. Because you put forth an effort. To go out, you have to put forth an effort. Somebody should trigger, something should trigger, some thought, something. If nothing is there, TV, internet, WhatsApp, Facebook. This is what it is. Therefore, for that you need an extra ounce of grace. Even to being alone, you get an opportunity. To utilize that alone, that loneliness and go to yourself, you need grace. You need grace. I was so happy during this Corona period. Appa. No need to go anywhere. No need to talk to anybody. No need to see anybody. Just to stay with yourself. Just be there. That Ishvara Kripa has to pull you. And who pulls that now? Guru has to pull the seekers. You understand? Guru has to pull you. Something external is required to pull you. So here in this verse, Karuna Purna Sudhabdihi. He is filled with Karuna, with compassion. Who? Arunachala. He is pulled inside. Arunachala is the name of the Lord. One who sucks one's mind inward. And so for him Arunachala was the outer power to rush the mind inward for Bhagavan. That Arunachala is the outer power to take his mind inward. And then the inquiry began. Who is the seer? And when the inquiry began, all that remained is only Maunam. Purna Sudhabdi. That Karuna made him recognize, will make you recognize, made him recognize himself or yourself as Brahman Atma. That is the greatest grace one can have. No other grace. So Arunachala makes you recognize. So you have to recognize what is given. The word is given to you. The given word is not with complaints. Make use of the world to go inward. World is a prop. You know, there is a teacher in yoga, Iyengar. Ashtanga yoga, you cannot do anything. They will ask you to do one asana, ukarra kashtam, then you sit, to get up, and then he'll ask you to bend your leg here or there, you will get here one catch, there one catch and all. But then what Iyengar did now, he used a prop. Correct? So that what? You will be able to do that asana with the prop. First. This we do. Even a baby to walk, first it uses the prop. Who is the prop here? The world is the prop. Take the world as the prop first to go inward. You are not able to go inward directly. Take the world, make use of the world as a prop to go inward. Guru does it. Ishvara does it. And what is this Ishvara? Not in the temple. Open your eyes here. Whatever that is manifest here is Bhagavan. Anything which is Brahmanda is Bhagavan only. Every mountain, a vast ocean is Bhagavan. That's why you get stunned. You're so happy we are watching a sunrise in an ocean, correct? Why do you want to always go to a vacation to somewhere near a mountain, or you go somewhere near the waters? Why do you want to do that? Why don't you go to some Hyatt hotel and then put and say, I want to be in a vacation? Do you do that? You want to go to a scenic place, correct? Scenic place gives you some joy. How does it give? Ishvara Srishti. Understand, that is what Ishvara Srishti is all about. There are certain things. Therefore, don't wait for it. There is enough karuna waiting outside in this world. So only one thing is there in this whole universe. The whole universe, by giving itself, it takes away the sense of limitation in you for a moment. Correct? You go, whatever you like. Suppose you like mountains, you go to Rishikesh, you go to Himalayas, you see the Himalayas. What does it do? You are so happy. You are thrilled. It takes away, it removes your sense of limitation. You are with yourself. You have turned inwards. Arunachala is also the same thing. What is Arunachala? For Bhagavan, it is the mountain there. In Tiruvannamalai. It is an external prop to take my mind inward. Anga poi, what do? We put the religious sentiment, he doesn't even know what to do there, how to do, what it is all meant for. Everything in this Srishti, Bhagavan has designed well, so that he gives you enough opportunities to say, every weekend you go on a vacation, you go to some Pacific Ocean. Bhagavan says, let me see whether you come back to Atma. Come on, there is a chance, come on. You spend the whole vacation, waste the vacation, go back home. Again, next weekend you go to a next destination. Bhagavan is waiting. Come on, make use of this external prop. Get inward. Nothing you waste all 365 years or whatever it is, days you waste. No. Start now. Look at this creation with this vision. You will go inward automatically. And therefore here, who are Arunachala, you are the ocean of that grace who have taken me inward. And that ocean is not an ordinary ocean of grace. He says, Amrita Sutabdi. It is a nectar. Amrita means nectar. Ananda. And what can it do now? It is like a tsunami that you cannot escape it. And therefore he is using the expression Kabalita Ghana Vishwarupa. The moment you are near it, you no more are there. It swallows you. So too, when you come to Arunachala, it's over. Arunachala swallows you. That's what he writes. When you go there, Arunachala swallows you. Like a person entering a tiger's den. They give you this example. One man, I don't have time, anyway, I'll just say this because I started it. One man, there was a village. In the village, these tigers were coming. Every day, it used to take a lady or a child or somebody and go away. This fellow said, I am going to go today and take care of the tiger. Everybody was surprised. Are you going to go? Yes. He went to the tiger's cave there, tiger's den or tiger's cave. He went inside Rama. That's all. After that, what happened, nobody knows. Whether the tiger died or he died. Like that is this Arunachala. It swallows you. He swallows you. Your mind is swallowed. That is called Advaita. Your mind is swallowed. That is one meaning. Then the another meaning for the word ghana means cloud. This Vishwa is a cloud which has appeared in you, O Arunachala. So you are incarnating as the very cloud to give jnana. So Maya is the cloud here. There is also another meaning. The ocean of Brahman, from there this Gana cloud has come. And then he says, Kabalita Gana Vishwarupa Kiranavalya Arunachala Paramarthananda. So Kiranavalya means the rays of the sun is called Kiranavalya. You are the splendor of that sun, splendor of jnana. That jnanam, that knowledge is called as kirana here. Ignorance is all the time compared to that of darkness. There are several reasons for it. In darkness you don't know what to do, correct? You are misled. When there is ignorance, you are misled. And the moment there is darkness, you don't see anything. Darkness gets eradicated only upon by what? By light. You have to introduce something which is opposed to the darkness in order for the darkness to go away. For ignorance to go away, you have to introduce something opposed to that ignorance. Not by karma. Karma is not opposed to ignorance. Karma is a friend of ignorance. Any karma. If you say meditation, by meditation I am going to get it. No. You know why? I will tell you the connection. The connection is this. Avidya or ignorance is the first thing. Because of ignorance, what happens? You construe one thing to be the other, correct? There is a miscomprehension because of ignorance. And this miscomprehension, that alone leads to desires. Desire and aversion, both. Desires are born. That's how you go end up. You don't know what it is, you are romanticized, correct? It's a simple object. The object does not have a power to attract you. Any object in this world. But we are all what? We get attracted. You tell me one object which attracts you. I tell you that what dosha is there in that object for you not to get attracted. You tell me. Everything is made out of Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apu, Prithvi. Correct? In this world, everything is a combination of what? Panchabhutas. The 5 elements. Body is also made out of Panchabhuta. When you look at this Panchabhuta outside, you are not attracted. When Panchabhutas come together in a beautiful form, you get attracted. Eh? No vichara. This is called ignorance. Desire is born. Desire gives rise to karma. Once a desire is born, you want to go and fulfill that desire. There is an action, you do an action. Action gives you its result in the form of punyam and papam. Punya papa gives janma and marana. Now tell me, Janma Marana's father is what? Parents are who? Punya Papam. Punya Papam's parents are whom?
Karma.
Karma. Karma's parent is whom? Who is the father of karma?
Desire.
Desire. Appa. Desire's father is whom?
I.
Adhyasa, or the wrong construction.
Yes.
And in
Ignorance.
wrong constructions, the father is what? Ignorance.
Ignorance.
Now, between ignorance and karma, they are in which generation now? Karma is in which generation? Second or third? Now, what are you trying to do? You are trying to eradicate the grandfather, the great grandfather, by karma. Can you do it? You have to introduce something opposed to it. That is why in olden days in the temple, in the Garbhagraha, there should be what? There is a deity, you want to see the deity. They don't put like a 100-watt bulb along. There will be some small deepa which will show that there is a deity, but the deity will not be clear enough. You know that there is something, but you don't know what is there. You go there. And the Guru, he is a Guru. What will he do? Deko, Arati, Deko, he will say, and he will show the camphor. And that camphor, what does it do? Camphor does not reveal the God there. Camphor only, what does it do?
Introduce
Negates the darkness which is enveloped around it. When darkness is removed, the deity which is present there becomes self-evident. Atma is also like that, that's all. Knowledge does not throw light upon Atma. Knowledge need not. What does knowledge do? Removes ignorance. Removes all your misconceptions. All the ignorance is removed. Self-evident Atma reveals itself to you. Fourth verse of Arunachala Pancharathnam, Bhagavan is saying this. For that he puts a seed here. Kiranavalya. And then he says, if you want to receive that grace, and if this Kiranavalya has to dawn on you, that light or that knowledge has to dawn in you, this is the most important thing. If it has to come into you, then what should you do now? You should be ready to receive it. You should be ready to receive it. Chitta Ganja Suvikasaya. Kanja means the lotus. Chitta Ganja means the mind which blossoms like a lotus. Suvikasaya, Vikasam. Suvikasam means it should blossom completely. And when will it blossom? Only when your race Arunachala, when it touches the petals of the lotus. The sun's light, when it touches the petals of the lotus, lotus blossoms completely. Padmakosha pratikasham hridayam cha vishvato mukham. For that blossomingness, or for that blossoming, that is called adhikaritvam, you need to be a ready person. Without you being a ready person, how much ever question you ask, you are not going to get an answer. Hundreds of years he is asking this question, who am I, who am I, who am I? You know what is lacking in you is this readiness. In the Shastra, this readiness is indicated by Viveka, Vairagya, Shama, Dhamma, Uparama, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhanam, Mumukshutva. All these qualifications I've got to have. Vairagyam is one big qualification. Vairagyam means dispassion. To tread this path, you need a lot of Vairagya. Not the Tamil Vairagya. In Tamil, Vairagyam means a determination. No. Here, Vairagyam means what? Detachment, dispassion. A dispassionate mind. That is why from Madurai he was able to walk, he went to Tirunnamalai, giving up everything. Without thinking of the next day whether I will get my meal or not. Naalik pona breakfast enna agumanga Swamiji, I don't know. Vairagyam pochi. Correct? Vairagya should be there. No, one person told me, Swamiji, I want to go to Tirunnamalai. I said, very good, go. Which hotel is very good to stay in? Then go to some ashrama. Ashrama means mosquito bite will be Swamiji, all problem for me. And they will not give good food. And only one menu, one item they will do. Only one item will be there in an ashram. That is, in fact, that is a privilege. In Rishikesh, when I went there, only 2 items, Variety. Variety is morning is khichdi kadi. Evening is kadi khichdi. Maati Krupa avada. Same thing every day. And all of us will be waiting for Swami Dayananda to come. Swami Dayananda comes na eva kadai idli dosa sometimes. Otherwise it's the same menu. So the Lord has no Vairagya, he is asking how to keep himself comfortable before even he goes there. Therefore here Bhagavan says, you need to first have Vairagya. Enough Vairagya. And a strong urge towards myself. Moksha is not something that is not one of the things that you pursue. That should be the only thing that you pursue. That is called mumukshutva. That is the only thing. This is an example, a good example. See, when I was in my engineering, there was a boy. He was my junior. He came from a remote village. He does not know anything. Anything about any general knowledge, anything you ask him, is a big zero. And one day he comes to me and he tells me, I asked him, okay, you are already in your 3rd year, now next year you are going to graduate, so what are you going to do? He says, I am going to go to US to study, do my MS. And my friends all laughed. Then they said, do you know how to go? Do you know where to go and catch the flight? Which airport you should go? Like that. Because he doesn't know anything. He has made his passport. He's already figured about GRE, TOEFL. He's figured about his visa. He's figured about his scholarships. He's figured about all the universities. How did he do it now? Only one goal in his mind, America. That made him do. All the actions that he did subserves going to America, and therefore he was able to establish it. He is now here. He is in California. This should be the spiritual seeking as well. Moksha is not one day or 2 days retreat, okay, I will come, moksha is over. Then what, next year again 2 more days. No. And guru hunters are also there. One guru to another guru, then one place to another place to another place to another place. They'll keep hopping. They do this ashram hopping business. 6 months they come to India because visa is 6 months. First Shivananda ashram, Yoga Vedanta. Then art of living. Then from there they go to Bikram Yoga. Then they will come for some time to Dayananda ashram. then they go to some other Gurudwara. It's not happening here. There is no commitment. That is indicated. All that is indicated by this word. You got to be ready for this knowledge. One-pointed, committed, focused mind. You will fail. How many times will you fail? How many times will you fail? It's like you people are all very good experts in attending interviews, right? You all know what the interviewer will ask the question once you have attended some 10 interviews and you failed it. So they all ask the same question. There's some 100 questions are there in the same bank. If you put together, most of the questions will be the same question. Like that you will fail. How many times will you fail in this? Every time you fail, you know where the mistake was. You come. The commitment. A serious, systematic, consistent pursuit of the spiritual journey for a length of time. Length of time is not weekends. Length of time is not 1 year. It has to be for a length of time. And then they want practical Vedanta. This is another one. New thing, you know. All these are theoretical. Tell me something practical. I know at the end of the day, this will be the question. Because they think that you have to sit like that and close your eyes, Atma will come in front of them, show and go. Then it becomes practical. Because our orientation is like that. You study something and then you have laboratories to practice it. You want Atma also to be like a laboratory or a specimen to come out and show itself and go in. No. It's a whole life, a committed lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. You have to bring it into your lifestyle. That's what is indicated here. All these words are important. Therefore, bhakti starts with a form. The form can be Guru, the form can be any vibhuti of Ishvara in the form of this Jagat. You see the form in front, but behind the form there is a spirit which drives you inward. And having gone there with a pure mind. This purity of mind, nobody understands what is a pure mind. Pure mind means free from raga and dvesha. Very difficult to accomplish. That is what he is talking about here. Chitta kanja suvikasaya. And he says, what does it mean? Pure intellect. An intellect which is ready to absorb the teaching. Therefore, this verse is just to invoke the grace of Ishvara and to bring the spiritual seeker into this mark. Then see the second verse. Second verse.
Tvai Arunachala sarvam bhutva stitva parinamedat chitram krityahamityatmadaya nrityasi bhose vadanti hridayam nama.
Good. He says, hey Arunachala, Tvai Arunachale, in you, who Arunachala, Sarvam Bhutva. Everything arises in you. The teaching starts here. Everything arises in you. Tvai Arunachale Stitva. Again, the Tvai Arunachale has to be supplied. Stitva. Everything remains in you. And Sarvam Pralinam Tvai Arunachale. In you alone, who Arunachala, everything resolves back, everything goes back. Etat Chitram. This is a great wonder, really. Chitram means a picture also. The picture or a great wonder it is. Because, why is it a wonder? Creation is a wonder. There is nothing called creation. Science also says that. Matter can neither be created nor be destroyed. But one form of matter can be changed into another form. These scientists have said this now. Thousands of years before our Shastra has said already. Gaudapadacharya's Karika is there. Wherein he says there is no Jagat. Show me where is the Jagat in Jagat. Therefore, there is no creation whatsoever. The word creation is not the right usage. It's called manifestation. That's why they said Big Bang manifestation. Sarvam Bhutva. Everything is born, everything is manifest in you. We all look like, when you talk about creation, we will say, who is the creator? Is there somebody sitting there in some loka wanting to create? Correct? You cannot have this concept. Because I ask only one question. Where was the creator before he created heaven? Sitting in heaven, he created heaven. Or sitting outside, he created heaven. Now these people contend heaven is also eternal. All these answers, these questions cannot be answered. The word creation is a misnomer. There is nothing called creation. All that is there is only a manifestation. That means what was there comes into manifestation. Okay. Sarvam Stitva. This entire Jagat is born out of who? From who? Shastra gives an example of this spider. I am not going into this creation, it's a big topic. I can talk about just on this creation for 20 days I can talk. Yato urnana vishrjate ghrannate cha. The mundaka. As how a spider, when you say that there is something called created, the creator is different from what is created, correct? Pot. Pot is created. Then there is a pot maker who is different from the pot. The intelligent cause has got to be different. The intelligent cause requires what? The material. The maker requires a material to bring about a creation. This is what we have seen in this Jagat. Anything that you say this table is created, table requires wood. It requires a carpenter. Table is different from carpenter. Wood is also different from carpenter. This is how we have conceived and looked upon the creation theory. Bhagavan cannot afford to have this. He cannot have something else other than him, correct? Akasha itself has got to be created. Panchabhutas have to come into being. So how to assimilate this idea? And how did Bhagavan bring about a creation? Bhagavan was both the maker and the material. For that Shastra gives an example, spider, like a spider. Spider becomes both the maker as well as the material to bring about that web, correct? Then you will say, Swamiji's saliva is there, it brings, saliva is different from the very spider. Then Shastra says, alright, come to your own dream. You bring about a world, every day you bring about a world in the dream. Is it separate from you? The world that you see in your dream, is that world separate from you? No, it is not separate from the vehicle. And what was the material with which you brought about that world? Did you carry some cement bags and all and went to sleep? No. Just as how the entire dream world arises in me. Correct? exists in me, resolves back into me when you wake up. So too is this Jagat. So every day you are a creator, a mini creator of a mini world. The same model you extend to Bhagavan. That is what it is. Janmadhyasya yataha. Brahma Sutra, second verse. Second sutra it is. Vyasacharya. Whole Shastra starts with this. Srishti. Taittiriya Upanishad also begins. Tasmatva etasmad atmana akashat sambhutah akashad vayuhu. Whole Srishti. So sarvam bhutva. And not only that, stitva. Stitva means what? It is sustained by him. Universe is sustained now. The sustenance of this universe is also in that Atma Brahman, sustained by whom? And it goes back into whom? Now if you want me to use Bhagavan's Prakriya method, you see the world, therefore the world is. Is it not true? Suppose you don't see. Don't say it is there for the other person. For you it is not there, correct? Just because you see, therefore it is, that's it. World does not have an existence without you. Dispute it, come on. Dismiss this idea.
When you say you, it indicates each one of us.
Yes. You is in singular. I am not saying you all. I am speaking to each one of you. I told I am a conscious speaker. When I say you, it's a general word. I am talking to you, you. Come on, tell me this. All the intellectuals are here, come on. Let me put all of you together. Dismiss it. World does not have an existence without me. Therefore he says, Sarvam Bhutva. You wake up, world becomes alive. Correct? You go to sleep, Pradiyate. It has got only a dependent existence. You know what he has solved? What does the Shastra, what Bhagavan wants to solve here? When you say world itself does not have an existence of its own, you are the cause, you are the source for the world to exist. The problems in the world also does not have an existence of its own. Why do you study Vedanta? To solve your problems. In one shot, the problems are solved. When you say, you open your eyes, see the world is there. If the world has got some problem, the problem also becomes evident to you. The moment you disidentify with the world, you go and then go to sleep and all the problems are also resolved. That's why in one of my relatives, he had a lot of debts. But he goes to sleep. So his wife, whenever I go to his house, his wife and all the people there in the family say, "Yulo karana vechiri eppadi thoongurar parugo." He say, he has so much huge debts, but how he sleeps very nicely, with so very happily, we don't know. Because in sleep, what has happened to all your debt and all the problem?
It's resolved.
Huh?
Not there. It's not there to keep you awake.
Sarvam praliyate. And then he says, so the Srishti, The purpose of Shastra talking about Srishti, creation or manifestation, is not for Srishti's sake. Avivakshitaha Shrutaya. Shankaracharya in his Bhashyam, he beautifully writes this word. Avivakshitaha Shrutaya. Veda does not want to talk about creation for the sake of creation. Veda considers you as a child. And it talks about this creation taking you to be what? A balaka. Really there is no Srishti. But you see a Srishti, correct? At the time of you seeing a Srishti, if I come and tell you there is no Srishti, you are not going to accept it. You are going to dismiss the Veda. Therefore, Veda says, all right, there is a Srishti. Akashad Vayuhu Vayu Agnihi Ellam solraen. Solli mudichittu finally what will I say, you know? After the entire Srishti Prakriya is dealt, you are now happy. Appa, there is a Srishti, now I know what is the source, from Brahman everything came, and now there is a Srishti. The Veda does a vichara on the Srishti to show any effect is non-separate from its cause. Pot is an effect. Is pot different from clay? Is it separate from clay? Is it away from clay? You take the pot, give me clay. Come on. You take bangle, give me gold. You take this table, give me wood. So many products. The product is all the time, and the effect is all the time non-separate from its cause. Karyam karanena ananyat. Now what has happened to Karyam? The effect. Karyam means effect. What has happened to effect? World has lost its effectual status. Karyam illako. Correct? Because it is karanena ananyate. It is non-separate from its cause. World has lost its what status? Effectual status. If world has lost its effectual status, Brahman also has lost its causal status. Only for an effect there is a cause. When I say effect is not there, effect is nothing but the cause I said. It is non-separate from the cause I have said. Effectual status is gone. Effectual status cannot exist without what? The Karanam status cannot exist without effectual status. Brahman also loses its Karanatvam, the causal status. Therefore, what is this Atma Brahman now? Karana Karya Vilakshanam Brahma. It is neither an effect nor a cause. Then what is that Brahman, Swami? It is you. You are neither an effect nor a cause. That is what is shown by all these Srishti Prakriya. So Srishti is not for the sake of ascertaining a Srishti. We are not wanting to get into Big Bang manifestation and all those things. It's already not there. Anything in this creation you take, I will just resolve it. You want to see that? You say thought, correct? Your thought is, in and through your thought, are you there or not? Any thought. You are there. When you say any object in this world, pot. When you analyze pot is nothing but what? Clay. Then you analyze clay. Clay is nothing but what? Silica. Silica is nothing but what? Atoms, molecules. Molecules are subatomic particles. Particles are energy. Energy is God particle. So everything in this universe is resolved. Now, you see the beauty here. Universe is resolved. When you see a pot consciousness is. Correct? Pot existence is. Pot exists. Pot is resolved into clay. Does existence get resolved? Clay exists. Clay resolves into silica. Particles, God particle, existence, does it get resolved? Invariably present. That is called Atma Brahman. What is invariably present in and through this creation is Atma, which is in the form of Satyam Jnanam Anantam Satchidananda. Existence, consciousness is all the time there. Pot has gone. Absence of pot is. Correct? That isness continues. That isness is what is said here. Yasmin. Yasmin means what? In which, into which everything resolves. That is this Srishti. Tvai stitva. Now comes the next line. Ho Arunachala, Nrityasi. He says, you are Achalam. Aruna Achalam Nrityasi. All the forms which are there are changing in you alone. It dances, all the forms are dancing. Like the Nataraja's dance. That is what is meant by Nataraja. Nataraja's dance is what? Jagat. Aham, 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 aham iti nrityasi. You dance in my heart as what? I. Meaning the Karanam is there in me as the very I. That is what he says. Aham, 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 aham iti nrityasi. That aham iti you have to supply it 2-3 times. Iti nrityasi. Where in hridi aham iti nrityasi. That is the inner being of me. That is the inner being of me. It is not the God that you see is outside. Whatever you see is not God. Niyadam yadidam upasate. If you see something, if you are experiencing something, then it is not Atma, it is not Brahman, it is not, it becomes Karyam. Then you get alienated from that Bhagavan. Correct? Because Bhagavan or Atma, when you want to sit in meditation, and then you want to what? I want to now discover myself, Atma. And then you want to now experience Atma. Who is the experiencer?
Yes, to be the
Me.
You will have to say Atma is the experiencer. Who is the experienced? You have to say Atma is the experienced. Now tell me, is Atma the experiencer or the experienced?
Both.
How can one and the same thing become both? Now?
Yeah.
It is neither the experiencer
Nor the experienced.
nor the experienced. Then what is it? Aham. It is aham. That's all you can claim. This is the claim. That claim is what you are using the word as experience. You understand? The word experience has got its own limitation. You should understand what that word means. What that word does not mean. Both you should know. If you say, I have to experience Atma as an object of experience, it cannot be. And if that happens, you know what will happen? There will be Dvaitam. Experiencer, experienced, Dvaitam will come. Therefore, as an object of experience, we should not. We are not trying to objectify consciousness. It cannot be objectified. And it need not be objectified. Why it need not be objectified? Because it is you. Are you experiencing yourself now or not? Be honest. Tell me. Are you experiencing yourself now or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Huh? Then what is that you want special experience? Come on, answer me. What is that you are looking for?
Ananda. Happiness.
So what is the definition of happiness according to you?
No worries.
You know what? There are two kinds of, I know several people are happiness in the mental institution. What do you mean by happiness? Come on, define that happiness.
I think that is the real happiness. The world outside is crazy.
No.
There is happiness only.
Huh?
There is happiness only. Actually, the I has never seen the true happiness. So the I feels that I have to get that.
You are experiencing yourself all the time. But in and through that experience, the experience is hindered by something else.
Responsibilities.
Thoughts.
Therefore, we are not looking for what? A new experience of Atma. That is not what we are looking for. We are not looking for that. I am all the time experiencing myself. When I am experiencing myself, I take it for granted. As what am I experiencing it? That is the problem. The very experience is not the problem. As what am I experiencing it? Am I experiencing it as what it is? True to its nature, true to its swarupam? Or am I experiencing it as something which is not true to its swarupam? That is where the problem is. The dog bites the bone. It's a dry bone. Blood oozes out from its teeth. It licks the blood and it thinks that the blood belongs to the bone. Correct? This is what we do every day. Even though I am experiencing myself as I am, even though I am experiencing myself all the time, but I do not experience it as what I am. I don't know how to say it more clearly. As what I am is what I am looking for. That what I am comes upon wake of knowledge. When it comes upon, that is what Bhagavan is writing here. You have to experience it as what it is. That is called immediate knowledge. Aparoksha jnana. You know what is the meaning of immediate knowledge? What is immediate knowledge? Your mind, your senses proves any other experiences, any other existence in this world. Immediate means immediate knowledge. don't bring your mind into it. Without a medium, that is called mediate here. Without a medium, how do I do it without a medium? How is it possible? Is it possible without the medium? Bhagavan gave you a mind and you want to throw that mind in the garbage. Manasa eva anudrashtavyam. Shastra, the same Mundaka Upanishad says. This is beyond the mind. So these people think we have to cross the mind and go somewhere. With the mind itself, we are into trouble. Without the mind, evlo trouble irukum. Then what is it? As what? As its swarupam. Even when you use the mind, that aham vritti that happens, in and through that aham vritti, you have to what? You have to eliminate the vritti and just understand it as the very aham. Claim it as the very aham. That claiming is what is needed. Not the very experience. Change the word. Claiming. See the difference. For want of words, we use words. Anubhavam is for want of word is a word that is used. Atmava anubhavikanam is a word. Anubhava is a word in Sanskrit also. But it's called claiming. That is why we say aparoksham. Not paroksha. It is paroksha means with your senses, with your mind. Without the mind, how can you experience? You cannot experience it. You can only claim it. That is why I said recognizing. I said you can only claim what is there. What is that you can claim. That is what you are looking at. And that is confirmed every day. Anubhava pramana is there. What is Anubhava pramana? Sleep. Therefore, as aham, aham, aham iti drityasi. Drityasi. Therefore, he says, and that aham, that atma, where can it be seen? Where does it arise first in your, where does it arise? In your heart it arises. Hridayam nama vadanti. They call it by the name heart. The mind is in your heart. Mind is not in the head. Mind is inside your heart. And in that mind, thoughts, that aham vritti arises. Only a sthana, location. Don't take all these things, all figurative expressions, like telling God is in the temple. Right? God is in the temple. Then this guy said, earlier you said God is everywhere. God is everywhere. Everywhere God is in the temple. Meaning what? God is everywhere in your house, correct? But where do you pray? You keep your prayer room not in your bathroom. You don't go to bathroom and pray. You pray only in the prayer hall, correct? That is called upalabdhisthana. Even though Bhagavan is everywhere, I invoke that Bhagavan at the prayer hall. That's I invoke him at a certain place. Where do you invoke this Atma? Even though consciousness is everywhere. When I touch your head, do you respond or not? Is there consciousness or not in your head? Correct? When I touch your little finger, do you respond or not? Then what does it mean here? When it is in the Hridi, when you say, it is in the heart when you say. Consciousness is all pervading. All pervading consciousness is invoked in the heart. And that is called as what? Hridayam nama vadanti. Idayam, they say. Tamil idayam. In Sanskrit it is Hridayam. All right. What is the
15 minutes.
15 minutes is there. Okay. Third verse. Ahamiti kuta ayati.
Yanvishyanta pravishtayadhyamahadiya avagamya swam rupam shamyat arunachala pancharathnam.
Our spiritual life has to be like a confluence of three waters. Sanskrit does not have a word for it. If you look at the Tamil version, he says Munnir. Three types of waters. Abdi means ocean. Nadi means river. In Tamil there is a word Munnir. Bhagavan is using only that word in Tamil. Munnir means a confluence of three types of water. Rainwater, river water, and then that spring water, natural spring water. Our spiritual life is also like that. He says, river water we have to go to. That is Shastra. We have to go to Shastra. That is why sannyasis settle in the banks of some river. We have to go to the river. We have to keep in touch with rainwater. Rainwater will be available wherever you are. Satsanga. You have to keep in contact with the rainwater also. And both of them will ultimately take you where and not? To that spring water which is inside you. In Tamil we say Utrinir, spring water. Springs are there.
Yeah.
Utrinir. So he writes that Munnir. See that word there. Satsanga leads to what? Shastra. Satsangatve nitsangatvam, nissangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nischala tattvam. That is the Shastra. And nischala tattve, jivan mukti, which is Atma. Spring water. He gives an example. So that's what he's saying now here. Spring water is there. It is there inside you. All of us have got Utrinir inside you. It is there in me. But then, without satsanga and without shastra, without the guru, you say shastram, you can replace shastram by the word guru. Both are one and the same to me. So, in our tradition, gurus are all walking encyclopedias. They don't need any shastram and all in front of them to teach you. My guru is like that in Chennai, Swami Paramarthananda. His memory is like a filter paper. You give him any book, like a robot, it's in his head. In Rishikesh, even small 5-year, 6-year-old people will recite the entire Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi. Right? For one page of memorizing one poem, how much we have to break our head. These fellows, they memorize, everything is contested. That was our tradition. That is why our culture was not destroyed. Even though They tried to burn all the manuscripts, everything. Because it was all what? Contesta. Contesta means all memorized, committed to memory. In the Sultan's mosque, they are doing it now. The whole Quran is all in memorized. They only do this kind of, how the Patashala kind of system is there. They do the same kind of system now in Sultan's mosque. You can go and see. All from our own systems of learning. And in that we use these three techniques. Shruti is there, Yukti is there, Anubhava is there. I'll give you some idea on that. Shruti is Shastra. Whatever the Shastra says, Brahma Sutra, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, all the Vakyas of Bhagavan is all Shruti. Either it is directly Veda or whatever that confirms to the Veda told by a Jnani falls under Shruti. Even though it is Smriti, but here you have to take it as Shruti in a category. Ulladu Nappadu. It confirms to what the Veda says. It is in keeping with what the Veda is, correct? Shruti. Then there is something called Yukti. Yukti means logic. And here logic, whenever Shastra says something, we make our mind run up and down looking for logic. This is something that is very, very important. When you listen to Mahatma's words, when you listen to Shastra, you know where our mistake will be. Our mistake will be what he says is not logical. Because our mind is logical mind. We think our mind is logical mind because logic is driven by some scientists, right? 10 scientists have written a book that has become logic. So we have got these logical systems. And we want to see whether it is logical, not logical, how is it possible? And we want scientific proofs for everything. When you talk anything about 5,000 years old, 10,000 years old, you will ask for carbon dating. Carbon dating, then it's not true. That's how our mind is, correct? Nothing wrong. I'm not saying anything wrong about it, but our mind is designed in this fashion. When it comes to Shastram, understand Shastra is a pramanam. It's a means of knowledge. And when it is a means of knowledge, it will do its job. It can do its job only when you shed your logical thinking and take to the Shastra's logic itself. That is called assimilating logic. Shastra gives you a logic to assimilate an idea. We are talking about something which is abstract. There is nothing like Atma in this universe for me to give you an example, correct? If I can give you it, my job is easy. I don't need a two-day workshop. In 1 minute, I can just bring it in my hand and show this is Atma and go away. We are talking about something which is very subtle, understand? And when it is very, very subtle, not very, very, very subtle, now you are wanting a logic to reveal it. Logic also does not have access to this Atma. I cannot tell a tiger is like a leopard. I can't say that. Because there is nothing like Atma for me to show you an example. It is unlike everything in this universe. So what example can I give you? Therefore the Shastra, just to reveal a certain aspect of that, it gives you some logic that is called assimilating logic. Yukti. Not dry tarka. Dry tarka is not what we are talking about. Assimilating logic. To assimilate an idea, it shows a logic. Now I told you, karyam karanena ananyate. For that, what example I gave? Touch of what is touch of clay. Weight of what is weight of clay. This example I gave you. That example or that logic is only, you cannot extend the logic. If you extend the logic, we are finished. We are only trying to drive home something for which assimilating logics are meant. And then there is a third one, Anubhava. It's your own experience. How do you know that what Shastra says is true? How do you know? You look at a sage, you will know. You have to, that's why you have to learn the Shastra from a Brahmavid. So that Anubhava is the confluence, is the abdhi. Di is the intellect. Apaha is the water. Apaha is apyante iti apaha here. Jnana swarupam. Apyate anena iti apaha. Through that, what is attained? Through that Shastram, you attain something. So abdihi is what? Jnana abdihi. Jnana swarupam. And when we come to that, through that jnanam, ahamiti kuta ayati. Where from this I arises? When you come through the Shastra, when you come through those Shruti, Yukti, Anubhava, where do you come to? You ask this question, you have to finally ask this question. There is a prakriya, he's showing the prakriya. When you come through that, you have to come to this prakriya, ahamiti kuta ayati. From where does it come? Investigate it. Iti anvishya. Anvishya means may you investigate. May you analyze it. How? Pravishtaya. Antah pravishtaya. Ati amala diya. Pravishta means entering. Entering inside. Antah pravishtaya means entering inside. How to enter it now? Ati amala diya. Look at what he says. With a very, very pure mind, immaculate mind. If my mind is not pure, Atma sadhana is not going to yield any result. You be for sure. 100 years you do, 200 years you do, 300 years, no point. You will be sitting. Yesterday I gave you an example, correct? Therefore, first where you have to start with karma yoga, bhakti, then you have to come. Stages. That is showing ati amala diya. Malam means dirt. Amalam means pure. And he doesn't leave with pure. He says ati. Ati means very pure. With very pure intellect. Now you should ask the next question. Very pure intellect means how to purify my intellect, Swamiji? That he is not writing. That's the teacher's job. Live a lifestyle. Lifestyle of karma yoga. Bhagavan says that in the Gita. Whole Gita is only meant, the third chapter, all of them is meant to live a lifestyle. Lokesmin dvivida nishta pura prokta mayanaga jnana yogena sankhyanam karma yogena yoginam. Two lifestyles he shows there. Sankhya is a sannyasi. be a karma yogi first. You're not asking you to all leave here and go to Tiruvannamalai to Virupaksha cave and then sit there. No. After it is all purified, then there will dawn enough vairagya in you. That is very important. Without vairagyam, you go there, what is the point? You give up all the world, you give up everybody here physically and you go there. And you are worried mentally there. Enna aacho? You sit there and you are sitting and asking the question, who am I? What happened to my son's examination yesterday? I don't know. Perhaps after this meditation I should talk to him. In meditation this is coming. No vairagyam. Therefore what? Ati amala diya. Di means buddhi. It should be sharp. Buddhi should be sharp enough to pierce the target. When that ahamritti comes in, you should know this is ahamritti. You should not go to sleep. Should be sharp enough, alert. Subtle enough to comprehend. And therefore, you should use all types of methods. So through bhakti, through karma yoga, you cleanse your heart, your intellect. Be free from all types of raga and dvesha. That is what is meant here. Attachments and aversions. Attachment towards everything, possessions. You got possessions, you are attached to it. You say, this is mine, raga. Then you are obsessed with certain things. You may not be attached, but when the object leaves you, you feel bad, correct? Obsession. Relationships. All types of relationships. All transactions. Towards all of them. There is either a sense of aversion or there is a sense of what? Attachment. That is why when somebody comes to you, you feel happy. But when somebody leaves you, sometimes you feel happy. Both. You should handle that. How to handle that? Follow your lifestyle. Very important. You know what you think? Swamiji, I am not doing any sadhana, I should practice some sadhana, I don't have any time for sadhana. All these are lame excuses. Whole lifestyle is a sadhana. That is what Bhagavan is teaching you, that is the whole teaching here. Sadhana is not sitting in a room and then doing your sadhana and you say that I am not able to do a sadhana because I am a Grihastha, I have got children and I will take care of him. No. Shall I show you where the sadhana starts? Just one small example. Morning you have to get up at 5. Okay? For some reason. The previous night you go to sleep. You have to get up in the morning at 5. You decide to get up. What will you do? iPhone you put an alarm. And that is the first reminder, second reminder, the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, I don't know how many reminders you can have. All the reminders you put right from 4 o'clock, 4, 4:10, 4:20, 4:30, 4:40, everything he puts an alarm. And he goes to sleep. He has decided to what? To get up in the morning. Who has decided this? Your intellect. Intellect is a decisive faculty. That intellect has decided. Buddhi has made a decision. Morning comes. Your iPhone is an alarm, it goes. 4 o'clock alarm comes. When the alarm rings, you hear the alarm. And what do you say? This is for this reason I put this alarm. But not to worry, there is a second alarm. Second alarm comes to third. Like that you go. Now your mind wants to sleep. The decision was made by your intellect. Mind is now what? Attached to the sleep now. Mind wants to sleep. It's lazy mind now. It does not want to listen to the intellect. Mind and intellect are not together. They are divided. What happens, for this kind of a person? I go and tell him, you are Atma, Brahman, Sachidananda. Where is it loaded? In the intellect it is loaded. Correct? Intellect has received the message. All scholars in the college, they know this. All the professors in Sanskrit college, professors, they all know Sachidananda. They can in fact repeat all the verses. Shankara Bhashya, they can memorize and they can repeat it. They can teach very well. They can teach better than anybody. Great teachers. And they can analyze and dissect a topic into 10 different varieties and get a PhD on it. Great intellects. Because the knowledge is loaded in the intellect. But they are not able to live that knowledge. Why? There is a split personality. What is a split personality? The split is between this mind and intellect. It has to be brought together. This is the spiritual sadhana. There is no other spiritual sadhana. Every spiritual sadhana that you do is only meant for this purpose. What is the purpose? Mind and intellect has to come together. The moment it comes together, the mind owns up. I am Brahman. I am not limited. I am limitless. It starts owning up. It starts claiming. Claiming what? The intellect's knowledge. Ati amala di. That is the meaning here. This is called purification. There is no other purification. The togetherness of the mind and intellect. You see, this you practice. Many times we do this, correct? We all know what is to be done, what is not to be done. Like Duryodhana said, Janami dharmam najame pravritti. I am not able to follow it. I know what is dharma. Everybody is. You should see whether you have this knowledge or not. When another person suffers, we go and give advice. From where we give all dharma advices, we don't know. But when we are in that situation, do we follow our advice? There is spiritual sadhana now. Huh? Spiritual sadhana is not sitting in your room there. Come on. Spiritual sadhana starts while living. That is where it starts. If you understand this, then it becomes your lifestyle. Otherwise, you will only be sitting and doing mechanical meditation. Meditation becomes mechanical. Japa becomes mechanical. Everything becomes mechanical. Vichara also will become only mechanical. It is because of only one factor which is hindering. What is that factor? Amalam. That mala is the factor. Understand? That mala was not there in Bhagavan, he could glide up like an eagle. And he could stay there. I understand what he says, but I am not able to glide up now. You are not able to glide up. What is the factor which is not making you to glide up to that level? Malam. Which is in the form of raga, which is in the form of dvesha, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mata, matsari. Everything is there. They're all different shades of what I said. Right from getting up in the morning. You see, our culture demands it. In winters, that is when you want to sleep more. They call it Margadi. You have to get up at 5 and go to the temple. And you are being complimented with a pongal also there. As a child, I used to go. If I go, they will give Thanjavur and Ven Pongal. Bhajans will be conducted. Have you all done it as a child?
We do it even now.
That is called culture. Look at the culture. The culture is in fact supporting you for this mala to be eradicated. But we have to follow it. That is called lifestyle. Following is in your hands. Understand? So ati amala dhi, that buddhi is required. And when the heart is cleansed, when it purified, it becomes so clear, it looks like celestial water. That pure buddhi, what comes? Avagamya. Avagamya means clarity. Knowing takes place clearly. Knowing of what? Swam Swarupam. Swam Rupam. One's own self. He comes to know his own self. Only when that is there, he comes to know. Swamiji, without that itself, I know everything I have understood now. You have not yet understood. Jnanam is there. Jnanam is there with some pratibandha, with an obstacle. It has not yielded a result. What is the point of having something without it giving you a result? Suppose you have an iPhone with you, but you cannot make calls. Now a call will come to you. What is the point of having such an iPhone? You can say I have an iPhone, correct? But the phone's purpose, it doesn't serve. Like that you have got jnanam. What jnanam? Scholarly knowledge you have got. It has not yielded any result. Why? Because of this mala which is sticking to you has not made you yield that result, get that result. Therefore he says, Swam Rupam Avagamya will take place. Avagamya means that clarity, that clear knowledge will happen in you of your own self only when the mind is cleansed. And the moment that knowledge takes place, what happens now? Shamyati. He becomes tranquil. He becomes quiet. How does it quieten now? Without want of any more vichara. A desire to do any more vichara will also not be there. It is over. Earlier I had the drive, what I want to do, vichara, I have to do this sadhana, I have to do that sadhana, what I should be doing, did I get it? Nothing will be there. Shamyati. All the sense of limitations will go away. There is no river, no spring, no rain, water, nothing. Spring will go away, rain will go away, river will go away. What remains is only water. That's it. இது அது என்ற வித்தியாசம் இல்லாமல் விளங்கும். That is the meaning. One whole consciousness, we say. I will not operate. No more I and you will operate. It does not operate anymore in that person. How does that person remain now? As one whole being. With fulfillment, it resolves. Again, he re-emphasizes in the next verse, Tyaktva Vishayam Bhahyam. Enna eludrar parumo. Bhahya Vishayam Tyaktva. Ruddha Pranena Ruddha Manasa. Prana is very important. Prana can quieten your mind. Without prana abhyasa, you cannot come to spirituality. People with Yajnobhavita, what is the first thing that they were given? Pranayama. You see that? Correct? Ruddha prana. Ruddha prana means prana practiced by you. When you learn prana, it is an exercise. Pranayama. But then when you practice it, from there what comes, that is Ruddha pranena, Ruddha manasa. Antastvam dhyayan pashyati yogi. Yogi pashyati. By those practices, when his mind becomes what? Again he says, dhiditham. When it becomes pure, when it becomes cleansed, he will understand. At that time, what happens? He says, you don't need to go and objectify Brahman. Brahman shows up itself. Atma reveals itself to you. The self-evident Atma reveals itself to you. After that, you don't have to do anything. The moment, that is what Bhagavan also says, when you come to Aham Vritti, you get sucked up in Atma, correct? It reveals itself to you. You understand that you are it. And no more you come out of it. This is the teaching. So, the same thing is all the final mantra again says about how it is revealed, how the whole Atma becomes self-evident. That is the last one. Alright, I have already run out of time. Om Purnamata Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Namaha Hari Om. Thank you. One more day was there, it would have been nice to finish this whole work.